Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, the housekeeping notes, all the product I'm using and all the dimensions are listed below. So there's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. There is my email address if you have any questions. We'd love to have you join our Facebook group. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe and help me grow in YouTube world. Today we're going to play with One More Year. This is a standalone stamp set that is in the mini catalog, and I just love the verses on this. It's just really a lot of fun. So we're going to play with this today. So let's get started. We are making, oh, you're saying, what are we making? Well, we have an envelope here. As you can see, I'm using Bloom of Impression paper again because I happen to love this pack of paper. And speaking of loving this pack of paper, today is what, the 24th of February that you'll see this video. Celebration ends on the 28th. So if you want to get your celebration items with a $60 or $120 purchase, you need to get those orders in by the 28th. And you can get that paper. It is still available. So this is the card we're making. Now this is, I call it a faux shutter card. I've heard it called also a fractured card. I made this one with glimmer paper here, and we're not doing glimmer paper today. I decided I liked it with the same color as the card stock. I think it looked more like a shutter card would look like. But that's my opinion. But you can use glitter too, as I did. And it says, aging fine like wine and, or I gotta start over. Aging fine like cheese and wine. Happy birthday, another wrinkle wiser. So that's what we're doing today. So let's get our pieces out that we need to stamp. We're going to need our inside of our card, which is, I got water on my desk, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need some squares. Now you can use rectangles, squares, anything that has a flat side you can use. So it's whatever you want to use. I decided to use the Stylish Shape dies, and I'm using the one that is the largest, which is about 2 3/8 square. So, but you don't have to. You could, just cut a piece of paper that's 2 3/8 or 2 1/4, whatever size you need it. Okay. So we'll get started with our stamping. Now they have to, whatever size you need, it has to go on an angle like this. And I'm going to use Memento black. Make sure I've got everything covered well. And I'm going to pop this. This is nice because you can just line that wine bottle up right at the corner where you want to go. Just like that. Now our verse is inside. We'll go ahead and get those done. I need to keep that verse, the first one, down about 1 inch. So I'm going to use my grid here. I'm going to line up here at the 6 and know that I need to stamp below the 5. First I'm going to put in, oh, I don't want to use black. You could use black. I want to use Petunia Pop. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're switching colors too. We are going to use Aging Fine like cheese and wine. And I want to make sure I'm under that 5. I want to go right in the center here. Like that. Now, I could have put these on the same block, but with the edge of these rubber stamps, I couldn't get them close enough. So that's why they're on 2 blocks. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to try to keep my head out of the camera, but I'm going to come up so I can just barely see the bottom of the cheese and wine and hope I got it in there straight. Did pretty good. So that's why I used 2 blocks with the rubber stamps. And I think that's all of the Petunia Pop we needed. So we need to do a little coloring. Today I'm using my Stampin' Right markers. We are using Soft Sea Foam, Fresh Freesia, Petunia Pop, Summer Splash, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lolly, Highland Heather, and Granny Apple Green. Just a few colors. So I'm going to start with the Lemon Lolly, and I'm going to, and I could bring this in for you. It's very simple coloring. Like I said, the trick with markers, so you don't get too many streaks, is try to go in the same direction as much as you can. You could use your blends to color this. That's it for Lemon Lolly. Next is the Daffodil, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put a little daffodil in this cheese like that, and then I'm going to do this cheese block in the daffodil. You could use your pencils for this, your chalks, whatever you wanted. And that should be that for the daffodil. And this one is, this should be Highland Heather. I'm going to use the little nib tip on this one because we're going to come in here and color the grapes. These are nice Concord grapes. If you try to use the gorgeous grape though, unfortunately it's way too dark. So I went with the Highland Heather. I wanted to see some definition. Okay. Then we're going to come in with some Granny Apple Green, again with my nib, because it's a very small little area. That's the other reason I just use markers over blends, is because it is such a small area. Alrighty, next, Fresh Freesia. Yep. And we're going to come in here and we're going to put this in our wine glass here. Like that, and I'm going to do the front of the label. In that. And then I'm going to come in with Summer Splash. Yeah. Nope. Sorry. We're going to use Petunia Pop first. And we're going to color the wine bottle. That. Now we'll come in with a Summer Splash. But you can make this any color you wanted. Going slower now because we're at the very end and I don't want to make a mistake at the end. There we go. Now, I looked at this and I said, it just looks like it's sitting in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to take my soft sea foam and I'm just going to put a little soft sea foam here. I'm going to put a little bit right in here. Help define the legs of that. I want to come down a little more. You put a little as much as, or as little as you want, just to give it a little something to sit on. And that is all the coloring. So I'm going to move this back out. No one gets seasick. So let's build the card. We are going to need a piece of, you could use cardstock or, you know, whatever you wanted. I'm using the Bloom Impressions. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and you're going to need your item you just colored, and you can put it up here or you can put it more in the middle. I'm going to go a little more towards the middle, but you want to make sure you're, you know, fairly straight, and you want to glue that in. and get the cat hair off if you have kitties. And I'm using my grid here to make sure I've got it going straight across. And I'm up a little higher on the top, which is fine. Okay, the next thing you're going to need to make this card is you're going to need some strips that are 1/4 inch wide. Now, they don't have to be this long. I just had some scrap and I just sat there and cut some strips. And what you're going to do, you know, when you cut, sometimes you get a little upraising. You want to make sure that if you got an upraising, either use your bone filler like I've showed you before, you know, and flatten that out, or use the other side that's not raised. Now, this one, I have one side that is not raised, so I'm going to use it. And I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go up, and I'm going to put this in here just like this. Okay? You could start anywhere you want on this. So I'm just going to put a little glue like this. And I'm going to tell you, you should grab one other thing. Grab your silicone mat. You're going to push this up right against where you had this. Like that. And then I'm going to put this one in. I'm checking to make sure I have one that's raised. And this is going to go right in here, just like this. This is where you use up all your scraps. Like I said, you don't have to have this long of scraps, you know, 4 inches, 5 inches. And this is just what I happen to have sitting around. I had a piece that was, a couple that were like less than a 1/2 inch, or about, I had 2 of them that were 1/2 inch. I just cut them up. Go like that. And then we're going to put this one in. And you're saying, boy, this is getting pretty tight over here. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. This one's going to go in like this. Yeah, it's going to come off. And then what I'm going to do is, I know you could do the measuring, or you could use my method, where I just take my fingernail and put a little mark where I need to snip it. But do snip it straight. Or you can cut it exactly 2 3/4, or 2 3/8, or whatever size yours is. Perfect fit. So this one, I'm not going to put glue on the piece of paper. I'm going to actually put it right in between here. Just run a little bead right there. I find it a little easier. And if you happen to make a mistake, just do another one. You know, if it's a little too short or too long. Long is easy. You can trim it. So once we've got all our pieces sticking out like little wings, and there's glue sticking off of this, so do be careful. And when we're done, I will wipe off my blade here. Just flip it over and snip away. Now, do I have in here? I do. These are something I find very important in a craft room. These are little alcohol prep wipes. You get them in any pharmacy. I got mine at Walgreens. But what's nice about these, if you get glue on your blades, but do be careful because these are sharp. This will take the glue and other gunk you have on your scissors right off. They just take a second to dry. And else take ink off your fingers too really fast. But I usually have some sitting around. So there's our shutter. But it'll look more like a shutter once we get it on. The glue on the mat will just peel off when it's dry. Or you could take the alcohol wipe if you really want to get rid of it. Okay, so that's the front. Inside of our card, I decided I wanted to use, when I cut these pieces, I had a piece that was 1.5 inches long left over. And so I decided to cut it in half. And we're going to put a piece at the top and a piece at the bottom. This is where you use scraps. Decorate the inside of your card so it matches the outside. You always don't have them, but if you do, you might as well use them. Off, oop, I'm way off. This is why I left the inch at the top when I was stamping. Like that. So we're going to go ahead and put this on the inside of our card. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and it definitely needs burnished. Okay, and we'll go ahead and put the front of our card on. So let that sit there for just a second, and while I'm gluing and pasting, this is a piece, this is overkill. This is like 6.5. It doesn't need to be 6, it's like 6 inches. Yeah, it's just under 6 inches for an envelope. And by like 4 or 2 1/4, whatever fits your envelope. And I'm going to take my seal. You can use glue, but I find on the envelopes that the seal does work better. I'm just going around the edges like that. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to take my paper, set it on the table. Oop, I did a terrible job. Hang on. If I'm careful, I can do this. I messed up big time. All right, I usually set it on the table, but we're going to just set it like this. You're going to line up so you're right at where the top is. And then I'm going to trim off the sides. There's our envelope to match. Okay, so we have our envelope and we have this. Now we need to put some bling and a bow. So I have the Petunia Pop ribbon. This is the woven, what's it called? It's called bordered ribbon. And I'm just going to make a small bow. I'm just going to make a little bunny ear bow. So I don't want a very big bow. And I usually tie my bows ahead of time, but I didn't today. I want it over a little bit more. Because he's going to go right about there. I think that will work. And not too long of tails on this one. And I'm going to put my pin right back in here. As I've told you before, with kittens, you got to pin your ribbon. Or you'll have ribbon strung throughout the house. Strung. Okay, now I'm going to actually put 2 on this one because it's I want to make sure it stays on. And I'm going to put it back down here like that. And then it needs some bling. So I have grabbed, these are the Shimmer 24, 26 color in Shimmer dots. And I'm going to use Petunia Pop. And I'm going to put a big one here. big one here, and I'm going to put a small one right about there. And that is my card for today. A faux shutter card. I like it. Now, I want you to tell me in the comments, do you like the one with the glimmer paper, or do you like it without the glimmer paper? Which color do you like better? So let me know what your thoughts are. Glimmer paper, no glimmer paper, Petunia Pop, Summer Splash. So everybody have a wonderful day, and I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.